I do have skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
G'day everyone. So, final thoughts on the letter of conclusion from IPCA. It says there that they're wanting to use it as a trace, or that he says in the letter that officers being retrained. However, you heard on the phone call they're using it as a training purpose for the rest of the staff and squad there. So that would be the third police station that's now been re-educated in gripping, and that he did say that Hannah didn't know that she had to have a specific reason to detain someone. I would have thought that was like first day learning at the police academy. You know, you can't obstruct people's rights. Perhaps they're not taught about people's rights. You know, constables know fuck all about the law. Sergeants have a wee bit of education on case law. Senior sergeants have more education on case law. So if you want to argue law with someone, there is ex-constable. They're the bottom rung, following their orders, as Hannah said. You know, now I would have liked to have seen what I asked in the IPC complaint to happen. Yes, I've gotten a written apology, but I would have liked to have seen Dave, the panic merchant, her supervisor, actually apologise to them for wasting their fucking time. He put Hannah in that situation by telling her to come down and get my details. Yes, she overstepped by saying you're detained, but at the same point, she was only following orders, and the Nuremberg defence just doesn't cut it. You might have said, everybody, you might have heard old Tony say that everybody's in a bit more of an edge since the 15th of March. So, one foreigner, one Australian that comes over to another country that decides to go shooting up with police-issued body armour and police-issued fucking bushmasters and wipe out a few fucking people in a mosque. Because the foreigner does that, every New Zealand citizen then has to cop the grief because they're on edge. Well, why don't you protect the borders more? Why don't you not issue thousands of rounds of ammunition from the police to Brendan Tarrant? Here's the little proof of that one. So, as far as my view is concerned on how it all went down, I never wanted money, much to the disgust of my wife. She's always, I can get some money out of them. And there's a few other people that said you should hit them in the pocket. He said I was lucky I wasn't thrown on the floor and handcuffed or thrown on the ground. I said that would have made great footage. However, that would have stepped it up a rung for me, where I most definitely would have been seeking damages if they'd got heavy-handed. It was only because it didn't escalate other than me just physically being verbally detained. So, you know, to me the punishment should fit the crime. If I ever strike any heavy-handed one that does go heavy on that, you can imagine the fun I would have prosecuting the fuck out of them for doing that. So, at the end of the day, I consider that a good outcome. Others think that the poolon should have been jumped on more, but again, like I say, punishment fits the crime. They're now being re-educated. Yet another New Zealand police station is being taught. Sounds like there isn't going to be a national memo sent out to everybody letting them know, like the ACPO form that I pointed out in England. But perhaps that should happen. Perhaps I need to go to police national headquarters and get them to do it there. I don't know. If things do escalate ever, we'll see. Now I am going to be going back and doing just another little recheck. There's a few other places in Otahuhu CIB that I might just pop by and have a visit. I've now found out where that is. And I'm also going to be starting to protest outside Orangutan Mariki at any address that I know where a crooked judge or a crook bloody SIFS worker is working. they're trying to be a bit heavy on the lady and take her kids off her because of what she does for a living. And yet the practice manager is participating in what she does for a living, even though the lawyer for the child considers it unseemly. Not that she's doing anything illegal, but OT like to try and control what goes on because they consider themselves God. Very, very fucking shortly they're going to figure out they aren't. So, Steve Evans has now got off overseas for a few months. He's going to be bringing back Arias Rakis, the international human rights lawyer that won against Norway in the court, showing that the Norway state was protecting their version of SIFs or OT instead of having the child's best interest at heart. And they are not pleased that Marius is coming back here in February to sort them out. Because Steve has some unfinished business that needs to get arranged as far as I'm concerned, and more power to him. Now, he has been extremely generous. He has bought a van, a new vehicle that I have control of at the moment. It has protesting gear in it, loudspeakers, full PA system with mics, power. I've put a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter so we can run PowerPoints or whatever else we need in the thing, and that's geared up. So as I said, when New Zealand Police or whoever they were decided to hack my computer and try and delete all of my information for 15 years and failed, if they're going to start getting heavy-handed like that, you're only going to make me more tenacious, and I won't fucking stop. I'll just get worse. Now more and more people are learning what's going on. Every single person, people that I have known for 25 years, I bring up to them that I'm now sort of, I don't know, putting more activity into child, youth and family, because that is something we can affect. Your efforts and your energy behind something like this, where as far as I'm concerned, it's for our future, it's for our kids. If we don't protect them, what kind of fucking society are we? You know, we all think we live in a society, so perhaps that society needs to get its fucking shit sorted out. Because at the moment, there's nothing but hundreds of people getting harmed regularly by OT and the antics that they do. See, family courts only work on a preponderance of evidence. They go under the civil procedure. It's not a criminal standard where of beyond reasonable doubt that they have to prove. Oh no, it can just be opinions, hearsay that can ruin an entire family. Many, many years ago, when me and the wife had a little bit of an issue, OT tried to step in, and basically I told them to get the fuck off the property and never come back. Their services weren't required. They never got bugged. But when they did call, the social workers sat at our lounge table for over an hour trying to drill my wife and get her to admit that I was being violent. You hit her. He hit you, didn't he? They just tried every way under the sun to get her to say that I'd done something wrong. She's more clued on than that. She knew what their game was, and the last thing we need, especially after, let's just say, my brother's kids have gone right through SIFs. You know, they've been in Christchurch, locked in a garden shed for 3 days, getting beaten, possums crawling all over the roof, because they wouldn't conform to the case manager. So they put them in a home and they locked them in a fucking garden shed for 3 days. They put them in case managers and social workers' homes where they get beaten up nightly by the other kids that are living there. Social workers are just using it as
Okay, sorry about that, the camera crapped out. So, at the end of the day, everyone's had their scary experience with child, youth and family, with OT. And the people that haven't, it's just a matter of time. There's a lot of people in today's society that want to keep their head in the ground and say, well, you know, these families shouldn't be doing something wrong, or it would never have happened. But unfortunately, you don't have to be doing anything wrong at all. It's just a matter of an opinion of someone that spent an hour with a family and decides to just rip it apart. And it can happen so quickly. And there's no support structure there for people that need help to get through it. Usually drawn out through a long legal process, which usually costs thousands of legal fees. For instance, I know Steve Evans spent almost 7 years battling child, youth and family, and he got his kids back. But at what cost? So all I can say is that anyone out there that has a family, is that not what should come first? Before anything else, family should come first. So protect our kids, protect the future, because these guys are going to be looking after us when we're old. And I can't think of a better thing to put your time to than ensuring the safety of everyone's future by protecting these kids that are getting systematically abused by the system. Alright guys, much love to you all. Keep cool till after school, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Bye.